Welcome to the brand new CoachPruntyPodcast. Guys, if you're lucky enough to wake up and hear this, this is day one of a huge platform, especially if you want to get the truth and not the mainstream BS. Guys, this podcast is only possible because of y'all's donations, and I appreciate each one of you. I got my high quality setup. Members of my team did a great job because I'm not tech savvy. So for them to help me put together this podcast, which was a dream of mine, really means the most. So shout out to them and shout out to you. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the world events. I know I give a lot of relationship advice, and some of that will tie into this, but it's a lot to talk about besides females. Because like I say, you can send them back to the streets, but the focus needs to be on you. And something that we're going to start off about. Very, very scary situation over in Ukraine, guys. World War III could pop off at any moment. You know, we haven't had a major war in really since the World War II. And if y'all are not following this Russia and Ukraine situation, and y'all chasing females instead of worrying about your well-being, then you are all the way out of order. So I'm going to give y'all some education and explain to y'all about this Russia and Ukraine conflict. So Ukraine borders Russia, and they have aspirations of joining NATO, okay? Now, guys, NATO means the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's an organization, it's a group of countries that ally together, and it's spearheaded by the United States. And it's very, very, very powerful, but it's not liked by Russia, I would say. Russia really doesn't want them to spread to Eastern Europe. And I guess that would make sense because that would mean that the U.S. would have influence right at their doorstep. So Ukraine is basically the next step for the U.S. to bring their influence right up to Russia. And they're not having it, guys. So what we're looking at is Russia has about 100,000 troops stationed at Ukraine's border. Now, they've tried this back in 2014, if y'all didn't know. That I'm definitely a military veteran, proud of that, proud of my service. And I remember when they stationed troops at Ukraine's border before, and it was a huge issue. It was very intimidating to a lot of people. Now, a lot of it is just bluffing, but Russia knows that Ukraine is afraid. Ukraine, they could fight, but Russia would ultimately destroy them within days. And that's why Ukraine so badly wants to join NATO, so they would have the defense of the United States. But Putin is going even further than just oppressing Ukraine. It seems he wants to reunite the former Soviet Republic. And if y'all know anything about history, Russia used to be way bigger than it is now. It used to have a bigger influence. And when the Soviet collapsed, it was very embarrassing for them. So Putin does not like the U.S. having an ally at its doorstep. And taking over Ukraine would kill two birds with one stone for him. It would expand their empire, and it would be a shot to the West, a.k.a. the United States, and everyone that's influenced by the United States. Guys, all of that is just a lot of lip service. The biggest issue that I have, and I'm sure y'all have, is could this start a World War III? Well, it has already started a new Cold War. China and Russia has become new allies. China and Russia has become new allies because of this conflict. Guys, that is very bad news. Now, do I think they would work together like they should? No, I think they both have interest of being the newest world superpower. They both want to take over the U.S. But, man, China sticking their nose in this makes this a bigger deal than it used to be. And U.S. understands this. They've deployed 3,000 troops to Eastern Europe themselves. So this looks like this is just going to come to blows unless somebody blinks and unless Russia just removes their 100,000 troops and send them back. So I really, really, really think you guys should take notice to that conflict, because another world war could be a lot of bloodshed, could also be fatal to the human race. So yes, this could lead to a world war. And it seems that China, they stuck their nose in this just to oppose the expansion of NATO as well. So this is extremely, extremely important that y'all, take heed to what's going on around the world, man. I don't know if any of y'all that's listening in are planning on joining the military or have ever joined the military, but it's no joke, man. People are out here losing their lives. Now, I will say, to make things better in a lot of people's minds, is I don't think China would stick their neck out for Russia. I think China is doing this for money because, see, if Russia was to invade Ukraine, the first step of the United States would be to put down all kinds of crazy sanctions. And those sanctions would definitely cripple the economy of Russia. I honestly feel like Russia just becoming allies with China is just a way to lessen the blow of those sanctions, because then they could trade with China. And as you know, China has an extremely big economy, and that can circumvent those sanctions. So yeah, Russia needs China more than China needs Russia. Russia needs China for their economy. So we'll see how this plays out, but it is extremely interesting to watch. I mean, Russia's a powerful nation. Man, that is crazy. So, guys, we'll move on, but World War III may possibly go down. It may possibly go down. So don't ever think that, these females, they want to be men. They're never going to go out here and try to be warriors. If the draft comes and they put females in it, it's never going to be equal. Women are going to literally shut the door in their face. And honestly, a World War III could be the only thing that brings a modern women back to being feminine. It would literally take a catastrophe like World War III for modern women to look at themselves in the mirror and say, what's more important, my safety or my career? And I honestly think it would, if a World War III were to happen, women would essentially not join the military, refuse to be drafted, and go back to raising kids and doing the things that women before wanted to do. So World War III wouldn't be horrible in that aspect, but a lot of people would die and a lot of people would be injured, and we don't want any of that. So moving on to the craziest news besides this World War III worrying. It seems Kanye West is having issues understanding female nature. Now, if you've been following Kanye the last few weeks, he's trying to win the court of public opinion with his daughter Northwest and Kim. So Kanye and Kim split, and Kim has been dealing with this. Well, I'd say he looks like Pete Davidson's his name, guys. Look him up. He's just a guy. I wouldn't say he's on Kanye's level at all. And honestly, he looks like just a random stoner that you meet at Walmart. But what's the biggest issue with all this is Kim Kardashian is playing those games that all women play once they have your child. All right. Now, this podcast is laid back, guys. We're just discussing. We're just talking. If you have a disagreement, just put it in the comment, man. We're just chilling. We're going to do these every morning. It's not too serious, just laid back. But my opinion on this, man, is Kanye, you've already lost. I love Kanye. Kanye's my favorite rapper. Hold on, everybody, for a second. Kanye's my favorite rapper. We all should love Kanye. Kanye's one of the best geniuses in the modern day. But he took his L once he put his seed in a 304. All right? He put his seed in a 304. What did he expect? You don't lose up front with 304s. I've told y'all guys. You lose when what's happening to Kanye comes up. Guys, the system gives the mothers all the power. All they need is your seed. It doesn't matter if she's a 304 like Kim Kardashian, if she's trying to influence her daughter to be on social media, even though the social media platform says anyone under 13, their accounts will be terminated, even though there are creeps that are on these social media platforms like TikTok that are preying on young girls, watching young girls' videos, just being generally just weird. Little kids should not be on social media interacting with adults. It's sad to say, Kanye's right. Kanye's right. I checked the comments out of Northwest's Cash App account. I saw comments saying, Northwest, do you know how to play Cash App? How to play Cash App. Guys, these people are trying to manipulate Northwest to send them money. These are adults trying to manipulate Northwest. And this is her first day on the platform. Guys, Kanye, they don't value you men. They don't want you to protect your daughters. Really think about that. I also saw a comment that said to take a picture of Kim Kardashian's credit card. Guys, if they're asking them to do those two things, and that was just a quick glance. Imagine what she must have in her DMs from these weird guys. Just imagine. Guys, fathers, you cannot protect your children like before. You will go to jail before you get to raise your child the way the modern family courts are set up. Before you become a masculine father, you will go to jail trying to do that. They don't want the fathers in the household. It's clear as day. It's clear as day. You can't win in the eyes of the family courts or the court of public opinion. Like we were saying, man, that Ukraine situation, that Russia situation, a world war is the only way. Because, like I say, things are too peaceful. Things are so peaceful that there's no need for fathers in people's eyes. The mothers are running wild, doing what they want. Look at Dwayne Wade. You essentially have to be Dwayne Wade to be a father in your own household. You have to be demasculinized. The woman has to be the leader for the marriage to be happy. Think about that. When's the last time you saw a happy marriage with a masculine man as the head? We've civilized the world too much. We've civilized the world to the point where men are not needed because the job of peace, the job of stability has been done so well that women don't value having a man in the house. Hold on just a second, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm just drinking something. But listen, guys, you're not valued. That's why I say protect your seed. Listen, you have no incentive to get married in this marketplace. You have no incentive to have a child with a woman in this marketplace. Your best bet is to have a surrogate. Just pay a woman to have your child. And that's sad. That is your best bet to be able to be in your child's life. If not, to be in your child's life, you will be a slave to the woman you have a child to, because she will weaponize that child. She will use that child as a pawn, as another scheme to manipulate you. Women nowadays aren't really focused on the well-being of their children. They're focused on how that child can get them more money, how that child could influence the father. Now, we're not talking about women who have babies by Pookie and Ray Rays. They've already lost the game. They can't extract any funds from Ray Ray or Pookie. We're talking about when they get what they really want, and that's a man of high value, as Kevin Samuels would say. It's just depressing. Guys, when you gonna learn, man? If Kanye West, if Will Smith, if all these guys couldn't raise their children how they want, then how could you, steel worker from Nebraska, factory worker from Danville, Virginia, school teacher from Gretna, Virginia, how do you plan on fighting the system? How do you plan on raising your kid how you want? How is it possible? The system isn't set up for you to have that chance. Now, there are some women that will value you, and I have noticed if you deal with women from the country, you may pop up and get lucky. All right, you may find a woman that's not influenced by social media and actually wants a family the right way. But guys, this is a supreme risk. We're talking it's only about 10 to 5% of women that actually want your seed and want you to raise a child. That's the darkest secret. Kanye thought he was smarter. Kanye thought he could beat the system. Look at him now. It says here that Kanye tried to go to his child's birthday party. First, Kim would not tell him the address, so he had to get, I think it's it's not ASAP Rocky. Whoever Kim's sister is dating, some other rapper, had to send him the address. And then Kim Kardashian made him take a drug test. A drug test to go to the party. Guys, they put all kinds of hoops. It's just their entertainment. You know how we play Xbox? They play men. We play Call of Duty, and they're playing with you. All right? This is the only entertainment women have. This is the only power women have. They can't beat you physically. They can only manipulate you, and you let them once you keep putting seed in these 304s. So I can't even feel bad for Kanye. I can only watch it unravel. I already know how the outcome is going to be. It's either he's going to go to jail or he's going to accept that Kim runs that. Kim will influence how that daughter is raised. If he tries to get physical, he's going to jail. You're not going to out manipulate women. So yeah, guys, if a woman doesn't want you to be a part of a kid's life, and this is why I say I don't believe any man is a deadbeat. Because if a woman doesn't want you a part of a man's life, then it's just not going to happen. Sad to say, it's just not going to happen. Unfortunate, man. Kanye, our prayers are with you. Man, this hurts because that's my favorite artist, man. He's had a big influence in my life. I'm trying to think if there are any ways he can beat this, but it seems impossible. So we'll move on to our next topic. It seemed like the court of public opinion is leaning Brian Flores' way. His firing was definitely some BS. I'm a Patriots fan. I watched him beat my team twice this year. His team was not very good, and he coached them to victories that they definitely shouldn't have had. So I would say he's a great coach. So yes, his firing was some BS. I do believe it's some validity to his statements. But this is the NFL, man. This is the biggest, at least in North America, this is the biggest sporting organization that we have. These owners are billionaires. So yeah, I'm sure some under the table payments happen. Telling coaches, we've already lost the season. We're not going to win the Super Bowl. Let's lose some games and get that first pick. That first pick would have been Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow would have turned the Dolphins around. So in a way, Stephen Ross was right that he should have tanked. I think they started off 0-7 that year and ended up being like 8-8, not losing a game. But they started off 0-7. So yeah, I guess they should have tanked. But listen, I think the more valid thing, I'm not really upset about the $100K for losing. Because if you really, really know what's going on with the Dolphins, you know that probably would have been the best bet. They would have Joe Burrow instead of Tua Tagovailoa. It's a crazy last name to say. But instead of having Tua, they would have had Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is a stud. Possibly could be the next Tom Brady. As you see, he's in the Super Bowl this year, next week. But the only thing I'm concerned about is the hiring practices. Now, definitely, he doesn't help black coaches' claims in the short term because they not gonna hire us now. After seeing Brian Flores turn his back and start exposing things, he exposed that the owner tried to meet Tom Brady and Brian Flores on a private yacht. When Tom Brady was leaving New England, the Dolphins tried to get him to come to Miami. And Brian Flores and the owner was on a yacht, and the owner told him, he said, yo, you're about to meet Tom Brady. We're going to try to get him on our team. And Brian Flores packed his bags and left and said that's tampering. Black man, you got to learn. Listen, I'm saying Brian Flores is right, but we can't be the only race of men that don't play the game. If you asked me, I would have stayed on that yacht and met Tom Brady. Because this is how people listen. No great fortune. I saw a quote one time that said, "No great fortune was ever attained." I think it goes without great criminal activity. I mean, if you look at these people that are super rich, they're doing shady deals all the time. They're doing shady things all the time to be rich. The world is not set up for you to be mega rich, just being a good guy. So in that case with the yacht, if I was Brian, I would have just participated. But hey, he didn't. And he's brought it up in this lawsuit. And if he can prove it, he definitely would take down the owner of the Dolphins. But that's just one person. And he will be replaced by a man that's just like him, another billionaire owner who does dark dealings as well. The only person that loses in these situations is you, Brian. You will never coach in the NFL again. Now, understand you standing up for, the wrong hiring practices by the NFL, but I think he went too far when he started trying to take the shield down. If he takes the NFL down, I mean, I think that's not what we really want. I think we just want the hiring practices to be the focus. Kind of like when Black Lives Matter came out. Remember how the focus was police brutality? And then we started getting sidetracked by like LGBT. We start getting sidetracked by like Asian hate. Now, no offense, I don't have any problem with the LGBT agenda or Asian hate, but we were trying to focus on us at the time. And I think every time we try to make any change, I think we get clouded trying to do too much at once, trying to bite too big. Can we get one thing fixed first? Can Black Lives Matter be about just black people for a second until we actually get change? Hey, it's just a thought. It's just something that crossed my mind. I mean, it seems like to me we're not making any progress. And it seems like to me this Brian Flores thing isn't going to go anywhere because he's talking about too many things. You're not going to catch an NFL owner giving you proof that he's offering you $100,000 to lose games. Now he may have told you in passing, hey, I'll give you $100,000 to not win anymore. I want to get the first pick. But that's that. You're not going to have him to allow witnesses to hear it. You're not going to allow a billionaire to send you a text message to say, hey, I'll give you $1,000 to lose. You're not going to get that. So I just don't believe he has proof of that. Now he could prove me wrong. And if he does, definitely he will have taken down the Miami Dolphins franchise. But The odds are Flores will never coach again and there will be a settlement. That is the odds of what will happen in this situation. So I don't want to get y'all's hopes up. Like I say, I do believe there should be some changes in the NFL. I do believe there should be more than one out of 32 head coaches that are black when 70% of the players are black. But once again, just like I think Kaepernick went about things the wrong way, I think Flores is going about things better than Kaepernick, but I do think he needs to focus more on the racial hiring practices and how with Bill Belichick's text message congratulating the wrong Brian, the white coach that got hired was Brian Duval, and he texted Brian Flores congratulations and basically admitted that, hey, I already know that Duval got the job. And Flores had an interview 2 days later. He needs to focus more on that. That is where his case has meat. You know what I mean? But the yacht, I don't like that too much. You leave private things private. I really don't like him leaking Bill Belichick's text messages too much. Because see, when you're in those spaces, man, all you are is your word, trust. So I can guarantee they will have second thoughts of hiring black coaches now, because it seems like we can't be trusted. And these are billionaires. Loyalty is what they run off of at the end of the day. Well, it's been a great morning. We're going to get out of here this morning, guys. But first day of the Coach Prunty podcast. I'll be streaming every morning now, so on your way to work or just when you're chilling out and want to hear the world news, just tune in daily. These will be a lot longer than my other clips that I've had. But yeah, I'm glad I could finally achieve my dream of having a podcast, a true podcast. And it's just great to speak the truth. It's great to circumvent the mainstream media who feeds y'all BS. And y'all could come to the Coach Prunty podcast. I support all the other podcasts. I even support the Joe Rogan Experience. And I kind of think, platforms like this one and Joe Rogan are important to listen to, because we tell you things that the mainstream cannot. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. You stay safe. On your way to work this morning, drive careful. I know it's snowing in the South. And peace.